Okay.
Hello, I'm Aaron Godfrey. I am the Vice President of Marketing at MyHeritage, and I've been with the company 12 years. And great to be here at RootsTech. And we have a number of exciting announcements that we've made today and recently, and I'm happy to share.
Yeah. So, Aaron, in the marketing department, when you guys are trying to bring out these new products, is it really important to have those releases when like a big event like RootsTech is happening, or do you guys want to try to bring things out periodically through the year?
It's a great question. RootsTech is a fantastic place for us to use as a platform, as a launch pad for a lot of our announcements, and to be in one place with so many like-minded people and people who are fascinated with genealogy, and to be able to spread the news. It's a fantastic opportunity for that, but it wouldn't necessarily hold us if we have a new feature. Our entire vision mission is just to make family history very easy. So when we have a new product, if it was in the middle of the year, we would announce and we would launch it then. But for sure, we enjoy coming to RootsTech and working on things that we can announce here too.
Now, when I talk about MyHeritage to people in the family search centers or people that are in the genealogy societies, I always tell them that MyHeritage is one of the major genealogy societies when you're looking for European research, and that the DNA work is highly centered in the European countries. So how do you guys handle the marketing for Europe compared to the United States?
Again, great question. We are a very global company. I think that's you touched on is the main differentiator, because MyHeritage always from day one understood that if you really want to find your family history, you need to have people all over the world using one platform, all on the same platform. And at the time in early 2000, late 1990s, people were still doing family history on a desktop software or even by pen and paper. And we made a collaborative space, MyHeritage, where you could invite people to your tree and they could come in and enter what they knew about their family, and you could grow your tree together. And we realized that as families are spread across the globe, we need to provide a user interface and experience which was in their native language. And we needed to understand that if I wrote Jacques in French, that I meant Jack in American spelling or whatever it might be. So we applied all of these lessons to make a global experience, and we have therefore millions of users around the world, and we have very high penetration in lots of European countries, and not just Europe but across the world. And so therefore when we do launch, we obviously make sure that we announce the relevant products and features to all of our users.
Yeah, and I know that if you're looking for European DNA, you're going to look at MyHeritage because of the numbers of individuals that are there. Is there a difference in the legal constraints with DNA sampling in some European countries compared to here?
So the company is so global, and that because we're global, we sell our products and services around the world. And so when you say going to MyHeritage for the European, we have a high penetration in Europe. We're operating in countries, and some places we're the only company to operate, and some places other companies are there, but we're the market leader. And there are a few countries that have restrictions on DNA testing. France is one of them, as is Israel. But for most of the planet, DNA is a fantastic opportunity to learn your ethnic origins, find your biological family, and so people take advantage of it.
I know I find a lot of German. My ancestors are all German, so I find a lot of German DNA samples that are on those websites on MyHeritage. So it's really great. I've been going to RootsTech for many years, and I always sit in on Gilad's presentations, and he always has that little statement, or Daniel's presentations also. It's like, I'm going to say something here, and I don't know if my marketing people are going to agree with it, but it's going to be released in April.
It just happened 10 minutes ago if you've had the session. So normally it's the product people that get the surprise. But yeah, I think we're a company founded and run by a genealogist. I mean, he's creating tools that he understands are of use to fellow genealogists, and yeah, and we move quickly. So when there's something good and something we realize we can create that will add more value and make it easy, because that's all we're trying to do, we go for it.
Now, most of the things I hear about MyHeritage are through the blogs, over the internet, over the emails to the MyHeritage friends and things of that sort. And every once in a while I hear something that MyHeritage has been on a TV show or something of that. I see a lot of Ancestry commercials in the US. Does MyHeritage do television spots, commercials?
We don't at the moment. We don't run a lot of commercial spots. We do a lot of other activities in public relations, in when we can, TV segments and other things. We're not running TV commercials.
Okay. So what do you think is the most exciting part of what you do with MyHeritage?
I think for me it's the variety, and it's the user stories that we hear, the customer success stories. Just knowing that whatever I do and the rest of the team do to help bring more users to MyHeritage, knowing that it creates discoveries for the rest of the people. I mean, it's not just about business, it's not just about bringing in more users, that every user creates a tree, creates an opportunity for another user to get matches, and then themselves to get matches, and whether it's records, trees, whether it's DNA, we're just hear the most incredible stories, and it's a very strong motivation for everyone that works at MyHeritage.
So when you decided to get a job at MyHeritage, was it because you were interested in genealogy, or because it was a marketing job that you wanted to?
That's a good question. At the time I was looking for marketing jobs, but my background, some of my working life, I'd been working with non-profits, with charities, and I always wanted to do, whatever I did, I wanted it to have some sort of meaning. At the time I was applying for my job at MyHeritage, I actually had another job offer, but I met Gilad, and a very long interview later, and I was just wowed, like both from him, both from the company, and then I realized that this other job that I had, this other offer I had, was a big commercial opportunity, but this is a company that does good. I mean, it just does good. That is the outcome, and so for me, that was a no-brainer.
Yeah, and I know like the Israel Cemetery project that MyHeritage did, and the adoptee program that they were giving out all of the free DNA kits.
Yeah.
Very important to the genealogy communities. How does marketing get involved in those, in promoting them and telling the story about the results of those sort of projects?
Basically, exactly as you described. Like, our job is just to get these things out there to the world. We have great developers, we have great product managers, and our job is then to take what they've built and try and make sure people are aware of it, try and translate what it is we've built to something that people will, in a way that they'll be able to understand its value, and whether that's using, like you mentioned before, blog posts, emails, newsletters, whatever it might be, or whether it's telling the story from the other side, from the user's point of view, and interviewing our users and them explaining why it's necessary.
Yeah, very touching videos.
Yes.
MyHeritage is one of the big four. Everybody talks about the big four, but when you start talking to the average family historian, they're not sure why MyHeritage, why they would get MyHeritage. They see Ancestry and they're like, oh, shaky leaves, tree, so on and so forth. Is MyHeritage working on trying to get the name and the company out there in a more forward-facing way?
Yeah. We're always looking to expand. It's what we do. Our day-to-day is just to expand the awareness of MyHeritage, and we've done it in many countries, not just the US. Obviously, as you mentioned, in the US there are other companies who sponsor everything and advertise a lot on television, but there are other ways to get attention, and we're very involved in those. So
and I know you all appreciate the ground level people, the MyHeritage friends, the bloggers,
exactly.
the vloggers, and so on.
Absolutely.
Putting the name out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you taking some time,
My pleasure.
and I appreciate you answering some questions. Is there anything that you want to add at the end?
No, I just mentioned it's exciting times at MyHeritage. Today we announced some very cool things. We've gone big in AI in recent months, so we have our record finder for finding historical records, the AI biographer for generating biographies, and 100,000 new biographies have been made since we launched 2 months ago. And that's just insane to think that so many biographies that would never have existed otherwise are now out there in the world for future generations. We hit a milestone of 20 billion historical records, which is fantastic, and a very global historical record base. We have Old News, which we've just launched today, a brand new website dedicated to newspapers and newspaper searching, and it's something we're very proud of doing, and we're going to be adding millions more pages every month. So it's just very exciting times. We mentioned our new wiki that we have for people. We invite people to come and contribute at the wiki and to be able to take part in building it. There's about 20 things
I
we
know there's a
covered
lot of
today.
stuff that's brand new out there because I'm giving a talk at the end of this month on, and part of it is the new technologies on MyHeritage, and I had to add about another 20 slides to my presentation. So.
I mean, there's the other one we had yesterday, which is, I guess, what we would call also going back to basics, keep innovating within MyHeritage to make it easier for everyone. And it's our new profile page experience with hints. You can literally click, profile pages are one of the most visited categories on MyHeritage, and you can go in and see the missing information, whether it's people, whether it's records, and just there and there, just handle it, and just enriching the profiles all the time.
Okay, well, thank you very much for
My
your
pleasure.
time. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Okay.